What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dilly Vanilli, feeling a little bit under the weather, but he's gonna pull it through like Aaron Rodgers on one leg. We also have Kevil, the man, the myth, the legend. Tough loss today from the Seahawks. Tough loss for the Cowboys as well. But, you know, they're here. I'm a little bit more happy because my team at least won this week. So there you go. But we're here to talk about a different game. If you guys did check out our live stream earlier, we appreciate it. There was a lot of views, a lot of new support, a lot of new subscribers from that video. So if you're one of those new subscribers, make sure you leave a comment in the live stream comment section. We'll give you a shout out and all that because we appreciate the old subscribers, the new subscribers. We're all one big happy family. But today we're going to talk about the Packers and the Bears first week Sunday night football game, and Sunday night football usually is the best slate of primetime games. This one certainly did not disappoint. This was a great game. Even when it was a blowout, it was a good game. I think this was a well-played football game from beginning to end. It was miles better than the Thursday night football game. I don't care what AC says. The quality of football was there, even for week one. Despite across the league, I felt like, you know, some games were up and down, sloppiness. Even for the teams that won, like my Patriots or the Panthers, for example, sloppy football, even for teams that won. But this game didn't really involve much of that. And a lot of that had to do with Aaron Rodgers. Of course, going to be the big storyline of the game. 20 for 30, 286 yards, 9.5 yards per completion, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 130.7 rating. But if you just looked at those stats and didn't watch the game, he didn't have a good start. He actually had a pretty rough start, ended up getting injured on the play. It looked serious. It almost looked like it was year-threatening, like season-threatening injury to his knee. But then he goes back, goes see his doctor. Luckily, they were at home, so that obviously helps in their own facilities. Goes back there, makes the decision that he's good enough to come back. So he comes back. He looks like his old self. He makes a touchdown, throws a touchdown to Allison. You know, looking like the Packers might have a chance to make this game a little bit closer. The defense starts to clamp down on the Bears. They hold them to only 6 points in the second half. The Packers score 24, come back, an awesome touchdown to Davante Adams. Davante Adams had a great second half. And Randall Cobb, Kevil's guy that he's going to talk about because he's on his fantasy team, with a huge play where the Bears absolutely blew their coverage. The corner, I don't remember who it was, so sorry about that. But he dove for the ball for the interception or the tip down. He misses the ball completely. There's no safety help in the middle of the field. Randall Cobb looks like he's straight out of 2010. He takes that thing like 70 yards or something like that, 75 yards to the house, and the Packers get the lead. And their defense closes it out with a big drive. We're going to discuss the whole thing. Guys, what did you think of the game? Obviously, Rodgers had his great performance. We're not trying to overshadow Khalil Mack, who had an amazing performance in basically 1 week of practice. What did you guys think of both teams, the quality of football tonight, and just how it broke down with the Aaron Rodgers comeback? Let's start off with Dylan.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy game. I was a little bit late into watching the game, missed about the first quarter or so, but what I saw afterwards, it looked like the Bears were able to capitalize on a good drive to open up. And it looked like from the get-go that the Bears had the step. It looked like this was going to be a completely different team that the Packers usually play, especially at home, all things considered. We've been talking about the Bears, pretty much hyping up the Bears and what they're going to do, and they absolutely dominated. Khalil Mack, I mean, tremendous game, even if what happens afterwards happens. But just his solo performance was spectacular. All the great things that we're looking for the Bears' way. The Packers looked like it was going to be a disaster. DeShone Kizer comes in and does DeShone Kizer things. That's why he's not a starting quarterback. But it looked like the Bears just had the advantage. Then comes in. They're like, all right, we are the Packers, right? Rodgers is in there. He is supporting his Packers team, his Packers squad, getting them all excited. And what does he do? Like a leader, he leads his team to the game. Now, I'm not over here saying that he's, like Skip Bayless's comment about Brady. We're not going to bring that up. But the thing is that Rodgers did what he needed to do and got it done. And it's kind of upsetting for the Bears organization because, as we were talking about, if you saw the score 24-23, you're like, okay, that's a decent loss. We haven't been very good against the Packers in the last decade, even longer. And having this outcome would be okay. But the way that it went down, it's a crushing blow. They'll still be back. They'll still be pretty good. But very bad loss for the Bears. And I don't think the Packers are going to do all that great going forward, but Rodgers is going to will this team considering what he did tonight. So don't count him out. Don't count this Packers team out.
Well, I think a couple of underrated stories before we get to the big story. Let's look at this from the Bears' point of view. They started off with the first drive was a touchdown, next drive was a field goal. The next defensive stand after was 10-0 was another 3-and-out with Aaron Rodgers still in. They had a chance right there to put the game away. They didn't. Yes, Khalil Mack made the big strip stack, got the touchdown. They were up 17, but they could have actually been up 24 in the first half. Then they had the drive that goes down the field in the first half. It was over 6 minutes. Come away with the field goal. And Collinsworth, but maybe we need to talk a little bit about that too. But Collinsworth basically said, if the Bears get a touchdown, is it even worth putting Rodgers in? Because they were down 24, would have been down 24-0 at that time. They were down 20-0 at that point. And let's also not forget, and I'm not criticizing Aaron Rodgers when I said this, but on that game-winning drive, Kyle Fuller dropped an interception that was in the hands of the 2 and the 3, right in between, that he could have put that in. So
that's why he plays defense.
Still had 2 timeouts and an opportunity to win this game. I think that one of the things that underrated that will need to be talked about is the Bears had an opportunity to win this game and shot themselves in the foot. I count at least 4 or 5 times. The other person we do need to talk about, yes, he's on my fantasy team, but Randall Cobb was a guy that a lot of people were thinking was going to be released at the start of the season. There were some questions about where he was going to be. This guy has 142 yards tonight, makes the big play. Yeah, brings back the 2010 Randall Cobb. So I think real huge kudos for him. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, this was an incredible performance. He was hurt. He can't, like, if the hyperbole or not, the guy absolutely was hurt. We cannot deny that.
There probably was some hyperbole, but I mean, he was still hurt. He wouldn't have left the game.
He was having a tough time moving, at least on that left leg. And for him to come back and do what he did, I think is great. And it's one of the reasons why we love football. We don't need to flip this about like comparing Rodgers to Brady. This performance in and of itself was a great Aaron Rodgers performance. And I think for Aaron Rodgers, we applaud that performance. We don't need to put like, oh, we need to compare that to Brady. Brady has had incredible performances. Aaron Rodgers has had incredible performances. This is an incredible individual performance, and I think credit goes to him for doing it.
Okay. So, just breaking down this game, I think Kevel summed some of the big parts up pretty good. Just from the Bears' perspective, I said this in the chat on Twitter. I just feel like if you were a Bears fan or a football fan in general, and you came into the game not knowing what happened, and the Bears lost 24-23, I think a lot of people would be happy with that score. If you were like expecting the way that we thought the Bears would be this year. I still think the Bears are going to be able to rebound from this loss and have a successful season. I ended up saying that they'd be a 10-win team this year and end up making the playoffs. I still think they have that potential. Sometimes we see it with great quarterbacks, whether it's Rodgers or Brady or Manning or Breeze or one of these guys that we've seen in the past few years. Sometimes these games happen where you're playing such a great quarterback that momentum starts to come through, their defense makes a couple stops, and they just become unstoppable. And it's just one of those games. And I feel like the Bears, yes, they're a little bit unlucky, but like Kev said, they had their moments. They had their chances to win this game. There were a few moments like that one play. I don't know if you brought this up, Kev, but it was 3rd and 1. In the Packers' end, they were forced to kick a field goal, and they ran a play action, I believe.
Yes.
Instead of running the ball, when they had a lot of success on that drive running the football with especially Jordan Howard, who I thought had a great game. Just speaking on a side note to Jordan Howard, this guy he's so underrated. He has incredible patience. He's one of the smartest running backs in the NFL. Like Collinsworth kept bringing up the fact that he's not really fast. He's not even really quick. He is strong and powerful, but he has such great patience and he knows where his blocks are. He knows what hole to hit. He's so good at that. And just to not give that guy a chance on 3rd and 1, it seemed like in this game, there was rookie mistakes made from both the quarterback and the coach, even the defense. The Bears just showed their immaturity to me compared to the Packers. Rodgers has been in this situation before. McCarthy has been in this situation before. Even some of the defensive players on the Packers, although it's a young defense, have been in this situation before. And even one of them made a crucial mistake, which almost cost them. Clay Matthews with one of the biggest bonehead plays in this entire week. He hits roughing the passer on 4th down 3 seconds after the guy releases the ball. That was idiotic. Don't know why he did that. And that's one of the veterans and leaders of this defense. But that's another side note. So back to the immaturity thing. I feel like this is a game that the Bears can grow from. You know, Trubisky didn't have his greatest last drive, but he did play well in this game. You can't say that coming away from this game, Trubisky didn't play well. He made a lot of great plays, both with his arm and his legs. And Matt Nagy called a lot of great plays throughout the course of this game. But also, he, like Trubisky, made some bad throws, some error throws, made some bad decisions. And Matt Nagy made some bad decisions in play calling. Like, I feel like this is just a rookie mistake sort of game, and the maturity and the experience of the Packers in week 1 was able to shine through. And I think that as this team begins to grow, you're going to see them develop and get better at these situational type of games. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Bears grow from this, whether they take a step back and they or if they're able to rebound from this game. So I just think that's interesting. Some of the other stars, you brought up Cobb. I thought Adams was great. Allison made that one awesome catch. Allen Robinson had a few moments. I would have liked to see him be targeted a little bit more in the just in the mid-range, like, passing game. I saw him a lot go deep down the sidelines, just go routes, like maybe a little bit more variety. Taylor Gabriel got 5 catches, same as Jordan Howard. Tariq Cohen was heavily involved as well in this game. Defensively, as you guys said, Khalil Mack was awesome. I thought Danny Trevathan for the Bears had a good game. But for whatever reason with the Packers, like, their offensive line, as soon as Rodgers came back, I don't know if it was the Packers gaining confidence and like almost like willing themselves back in this game, and the offensive line gaining a boost of momentum from Rodgers coming back and saying, hey, we need to protect this guy because he's hurt, or if it was the Bears being gassed. Like, I almost feel like the Bears in the 4th quarter. What?
Packers went completely no huddle pretty much in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and it felt like the Bears got gassed. And I know that Khalil Mack maybe has an excuse for that because he hasn't really been on the football field. But pretty much everybody on the Bears defensive line, they were getting pressure all the first half. And then as soon as the second half started and they started to go up tempo, like, the Bears couldn't get any pressure. The offensive line for the Packers was awesome. The Bears, the 1 or 2 times they sent a blitz, it backfired because the Packers were able to pick it up. A great play by Jamal Williams blocking there.
Adams play.
Yeah, there was some really nice just blocking, and then Rodgers was able to take the time. Randall Cobb or Devontae Adams or Geronimo Allison was able to break through, make the plays. And also another thing I think that spoke to this game was just the check to Allison and the throw to Allison. Just the fact that Rodgers and the Packers were able to see that Marcus Cooper, the 4th corner for the Bears, was on the field instead of Prince Amukamara, who was injured. He was like, okay, I'm going to go to Allison. I'm going to trust this guy to make the play. And that was the start of the comeback. So I think a lot of it was maturity, experience, and conditioning too. Guys, Dylan, what was your other thoughts on the game?
Yeah, that Allison throw was incredible. It takes a quarterback like Rodgers. Not many quarterbacks in this league are going to make that kind of throw. Like Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, maybe 1 or 2 more. But those kind of throws are meant for the elite QBs to see that, like Moore, who was playing a decent game, especially a guy that's starting caliber, is out of the game. Go right there, make this comeback, because one big play can make a huge difference. If you make a big 1-touchdown drive, maybe you don't get it done in the next drive, but one huge play, like something that Rodgers can do very frequently, got this team back into it. So I was impressed by that. Trubisky, I think he obviously he did a good job in that first drive. And yes, his running team did very well. Jordan Howard, really like what I saw out of him. Just like you said, he's a smart running back. He's a guy that's going to take these certain runs that you're not expecting. You're looking at, okay, this is supposed to be a run to the outside on the right, and nothing's there. Going to cut back in. It says it was like a 2nd and 3, and he goes in there and gets 5 on the play. Something that a lot of running backs would have just said, okay, I'm just going to rush through, make it 3rd and 2, see where it goes from there. But he's smart enough to get that play. But I think his rush game, the Bears' rush game, kind of helped out Trubisky because, I mean, there was just certain plays where I'm like, I want him to make these throws, but it wasn't there. The Packers defense did step up. It takes defense is going to be good. You got to see what Trubisky's going to bring to the table, and I don't think he brought enough, obviously, to win the football game. So that's my question going forward. Again, week 1, a lot of things to ask about that, but I don't know. It's a weird game to talk about in terms of the Bears going forward. Like, is this going to be something that's really drastic to the team? Like, man, we had that in them. Are they going to be able to bounce back in a big way? A lot of questions going forward, but big game against the Cowboys Seahawks next week. So
yeah,
I want to see what the Bears do in that situation. That's Monday night, by the way.
And that's in Chicago, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's big for them. The fact that they don't have to go on the road, because I feel like being in front of the home crowd, especially in Chicago, is going to sort of like motivate them and get them like back in the game. Because if you go on the road, if you go down early or something, I think with a young team, young quarterback like that, it almost sort of hurts you. But if you're at home in front of that crowd, they inspire you to play better and you kind of forget. So we'll see Matt Nagy's skill as a motivator and as a kind of a lead man. But
I think there is a question here. I think one of the other questions that I think if you're a Bears fan or a Bears supporter, that I think you need to come away with is this wide receiver core. Taylor Gabriel, 5 catches, 25 yards. Anthony Miller, 2 catches for 14 yards. Compared to what Green Bay had, let's look at Green Bay's wide receiver numbers here just quickly. Cobb, 9 for 142. Adams, 5 for 88. Allison, 5 for 69. So in comparison, I think one of the questions that I will have going forward is I wasn't exactly enamored with this wide receiver crew. I know that there was a lot.
Do you think that's more Bears, or was that impressive on the Packers' part from coverage? Because I felt like the coverage for the Packers was really, really good, but also there was a lot of plays where Trubisky was having to buy way too much time and just guys weren't getting open.
Oh, and it's like Allen Robinson had a really great first quarter. Like, he was making big plays. We were talking about them, and then did not exist in the last 3 quarters. I think that goes down to how good that defense stepped it up and realized what we got to do here. Taylor Gabriel was not a presence, but in the case of Allen Robinson.
And honestly, it's like I said earlier, I've seen it so many times being a Patriots fan with Tom Brady. It's like, for some reason, when these guys start going on a roll, it's like the whole team becomes better. The whole team steps up. Even the like subpar guys that never play very well, they just get motivated. And sometimes there's just those games that it just all falls together for a certain team. I'm not sure if it's the Packers defense sort of clicking throughout the second half, or if it was just one of those games where it was a momentum and everything kind of went together and worked out for them. I don't know. It's hard to tell. And I think we're going to get a better test next week against the Vikings for the Packers defense. But obviously, if you're a Packers fan, you didn't like what you saw in the first half. But I think it's really nice to see what you got in the second half from the offensive line and the defense.
Well, I think the one thing that you can do, I will say this. It seems to me, from my observation, I think that you are at least able to run on this Packers defense.
Their tackling was horrible in this game.
So I think if the Vikings are able to run, I think that will give them a bit of an advantage, because Howard and Cohen and even
you're at least able to run to the edge. Like up the middle, they're pretty solid, but like
once you got outside, for sure they were able to get some footing there. And I don't know. I mean, everyone is all in. It seems like kind of impressed with this Packers defense, and I'm still not there.
I think they're a mediocre defense. I'm not like all the way with AC where like I feel like they're like a game-changing defense for this team to make them a super contender. If I'm looking at this game, I think there's still more concerns for the Packers than there are positives. you did have to make a miraculous comeback at home against the Bears, a team that you usually handle. And I know that the Bears are a lot better this year, and we feel like they're a better team, but still.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like, I do think the Packers defense did get better. Like, I still think the last year's defense
skill-wise, I think they're better, and I think they will be better, but I just don't know if this supporting cast around the quarterback, you're not in the playoffs against the elite of the elite teams. That's usually what happens is Aaron Rodgers through the regular season will pull off these crazy wins, and then in the playoffs he'll play a team that's just better with better talent, and they'll wreck the Packers. That's usually what ends up happening.
Yeah.
It's a crazy scenario. I think that the Packers have an interesting team going forward, but how much stock do you take in this game? I think is the big question. Do you take the fact that you pulled off this great comeback, or do you sit here and say, look, we played terrible through 3 quarters, basically?
It's almost like the Eagles. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you took the victory, and in the Packers case, you certainly came up with a huge win. But how much is going to be put on the fact that Aaron Rodgers was the guy? Like, Randall Cobb, impressed with him, but what's going to happen? I feel bad for Josh. He just posted in Sports Theory. He's still pissed. I watched the live show. It's an interesting concept. But going forward, I think the Packers look at this from both perspectives. Hey, we got the win, but we have a lot to work on.
Well, especially, I mean, look, I'm speaking as a Seahawks fan, and we have Jermaine Ifedi, who Von Miller took
Von Miller was
up and down downtown Denver and butchered that young man. That man was butchered today without question.
Kev, no offense, I'd be shocked if the Bears defense did not wreck the Seahawks next week.
They'll make some adjustments. They'll have to make some adjustments.
What was up with the Bears defense in the second half? Like they were rather too aggressive or too soft. One drive they were like way backed off and didn't rush, and then the other drive they're way too aggressive and the guy's trying to dive for the interception. Like, again, I just think that's experience.
Yeah, and I mean there was
and coaching as well. I mean, I think Matt Nagy does have some to blame in this game.
Well, even on the Adams touchdown, you saw that Kamara was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because you didn't know if Graham was going to go on the corner route or what Graham was going to do there, and then he had to play back. So I feel like that was a lot of experience. But I mean, just something else that I do think is a little bit, the Packers offensive line played well in the second half, but Brian Bulaga had a rough game.
Oh my goodness! But he did play Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is Khalil Mack. I will give that credit to that. But like, to your point about where the Packers go when they face these elite teams, these are some of the questions that you have to run in to. I mean, in my scenario,
especially on the road.
Yes, you're going to play an Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's going to wreck that. Can wreck that offensive line. I mean, I've already seen Viking fans tweet at Anthony Barr what they're going to do to Aaron Rodgers. So next week. So and I'm not like the hugest Anthony Barr guy, but
Everson Griffin, Daniel Hunter. Dylan, let's go through the chat.
Got quite a bit of chat here. Poker Kid saying that the Chicago Bears should have won. The clock running
probably should have, but I'm still happy they covered. Hey,
I was the one that picked them to win.
That would have been a good call.
Yeah. You and AC were both the ones to pick them. I will, by the way, go over our rankings, our picks wise after our chat.
Did you take all our picks, including our spread picks?
No, I just included regular picks.
Okay, I got to get everyone's spread picks.
I thought we already whatever. I asked or I gave you mine. So.
I don't think I got Kev's Kev's.
Oh, everyone, all the favorites were to cover.
Okay, we'll go. We'll go.
Okay, go ahead. Back to the chat.
I think that's true. Bodo says, "Yeah, Dylan is a Dallas boy." I don't know what that means, but yes, thank you. Let's see. The plays that Rodgers made were huge, of course. Man, a little bit of an argument here with Ultra and Maya. That's funny. Mason says Browns 0-16. Now that would be a story right there. That would you wouldn't go 0-16. It's impressive. Let's see here.
Huey
Mason
headlines
also
with the tie today.
those sides saw that in Buffalo, and I'm like,
Huey in
bro.
the news.
Let's see here. Mason says Saints are going to be this year's chokers. They're going to be the chokers.
Possibly. They looked awful today.
Well, the offense looked
it's
fantastic.
going to be an interesting race there. Khalil Mack versus Fitzmagic for the MVP. I think that's a pretty interesting case.
I will say, the Saints offense played great. Their defense was fucking atrocious.
It was terrible. Yeah.
It was back to 2016 vibes.
And I think people need to remember, people react too quickly to week 1, week 2, week 3. Like, It doesn't matter what realm, if it's your team, if it's a different team, if it's your fantasy football team, people react too heavily to these games. Like, for example, the Saints started 0-2 last year. They looked like one of the best teams.
0-2 for like 4 straight years, actually.
The Patriots got absolutely wrecked week 1 last year, made it to the Super Bowl. The Patriots in 2014 won the Super Bowl after getting wrecked on Monday Night Football. You know, it happens all the time. Last year, it happened to a number of teams.
It's all about how you come back. It's how you finish, you know.
Exactly. Look at the Vikings last year. It looked like they were going to do nothing, but then
they came in. They did it. They did it. Amir says, thoughts on Alex Collins? He disappointed big time today. Big time.
I don't know why that was. He didn't get a lot of touches.
We had 18. Well, how many touches?
He only got 7 carries, I think, and like 3 catches.
The thing is that the Ravens, I wouldn't take much stock in it because the Ravens won by 44. So
I don't know why that was. Did he get banged up and they pulled him? Was Kenneth Dixon the guy this game? Or like, I'm confused. I need to look into that game a little bit.
Kenneth Dixon had 13 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson had 7 rushes for 39. And Collins had 7 for 13.
And Tuesday, guys, Tuesday's going to be the day where I like go and back and watch all the games that I haven't watched. I'll go DAZN it and go through the quick 30-minute games and go through it. Maybe I'll do like a video every week just talking about like every game that I saw after the fact, but we'll see about that. I just think like I didn't watch any of the Ravens game because it was over before it started, but that's interesting. I don't know. He did score though.
I definitely
That's good.
He did get a well, I would have beaten the Bills today. They're fucking garbage.
By the way, Dylan's out of Survivor. AC's out of Survivor. It's down to me and you, Kev.
Yep, and I got tomorrow at the.
Oh yeah, you got tomorrow. You still got to win.
I still think
Raiders. I'm gonna be a big Raiders fan tomorrow. All right.
Anyways, continue. Fury, of course, we lost. I'm still pissed. I will send, Josh Wright, very close. They live in Dallas, so I will send them a nice card. I'm sorry.
If you're still watching this, we got a collab, bro. What's going on? The people have been asking for it today on the live stream. They were asking for it, so we got a collab.
I will see how that works. Factor Fiction. Bills work are out. Free agent QBs tomorrow.
No. Bills might be the worst.
Well, they might.
Bills might go 0-16 this year.
No, they barely have to. They have to.
I just want to say I was the one that said 3-13. Everybody's like,
I did too.
Well, everybody's like, why are we so low on the Bills? I'm just saying, bro. 3-13.
I mean, I did say 3-13 too, and if I didn't, I said 4-12. So I mean, they're bad. They're really bad. But I think it might be worse than that. But I think the Ravens, like I said, watch out. I'm scared.
Rick Bad Boy says Bills made big mistakes starting Peterman. Well, Josh Allen didn't look.
What was Allen gonna do? Run for his life?
He was what?
Throw it all up.
God, it was terrible.
Like Cam today? Oh my goodness.
He was running. Jordan said Steelers are great. Ben had 3 interceptions, a fumble.
How do you think this? That's a big question. How do you think the Steelers are going to respond from today? I want to know what Kev thinks.
To me, a couple of things. I really love this Browns defense. Like, I really think that this Browns – that I said this in the chat. This will sound ridiculous, but they sort of remind me of the Jaguars a little bit. They're just sort of that same, like, they don't have they have an atrocious offense. Their offense is terrible other than the receivers. But that defense can make
it also didn't help that for whatever reason they kept like their best player on the sidelines until the last play.
I think there was a lot of pitch counts this week.
Well, like Josh Gordon only played like 5 plays.
Yeah, but he got
1 catch for 17 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I just think the Steelers will go on. I think they won't care. They will look at it as a victory, and it's just like they're the Steelers.
It's so pathetic.
Do no wrong, it seems, in their eye. I hope this week what does happen is they just don't talk about Le'Veon Bell. They get back to just playing some football and get some control. Like let's really look at this. You blew a 21-7 lead to an 0-16 football team, and yeah, they botched it. You got a great play from TJ Watt overtime, but come on, you blew a 2-touch. You're a team that you were picking, expecting to go to the Super Bowl to beat Mitch Maloney and the New England Patriots. You blew a 2-touchdown lead to an 0-16 team. Come on, really? Really? Seriously?
What are they going to do with Bell? He's laughing on Twitter.
He shouldn't be. James Conner just went off today.
Yeah, but are they going to trade him?
They should. I mean, look, James Conner is not Le'Veon Bell. Let's put that out there. But this week 1, sitting on the bench because you're saying, oh, I can't make this enough money.
Trade him to the 49ers.
First off, I've heard rumors they were wanting to trade it. Never mind. I'm not even going to bring that up. The thing is that Le'Veon shouldn't be doing this shit on Twitter. He's so fucking petty.
And what about Dez on Twitter? Dez said he's playing for the Patriots. That's what he said. You see that tweet? He's like, if I played with Gronk and Edelman and Hogan, I'd get single coverage. I wouldn't have to worry about being in a winning situation.
Well, he's not getting signed, so congratulations. You look like a moron on the sideline.
Especially with Philip Dorsett having the game he did. Any more comments?
Let's see. Rick Badboy says Tyrod. How are we pronouncing Tyrod's name?
Tyrod.
Tyrod.
No.
That's what his name is.
No. Okay. His mom said his name is Tyrod, and then he said in an interview, my name's Tyrod. So whatever he says his name is his name.
GT5.
Is this Rihanna situation? Because it is Rihanna, but nobody calls her that. So there you go. It's an accident. It's Rihanna. Whatever she wants to call it, that's what she is. Tyrod Taylor is an accident waiting to happen. He made good plays. It's just kind of risky what they want to do with him. I don't know. Let's see. Jordan says they were 0-16 last year. That was the past, Kevel. It's the first game of the year. They were desperate on the road.
Desperate on the road versus the Browns.
Desperate on the road. But I did say this when we were doing
September. Don't overreact. I still see the Steelers in the playoffs. And if I otherwise say they're not, I'm just bugging you because you're a Steelers fan. But
Bodo. I did say this when we were doing a stream last week.
There are concerns there, obviously.
Yeah, but what happens is they always struggle week 1. First of all, they almost lost to the Browns last year.
And they always suck against bad teams.
Yeah.
It's never they still win, but they always struggle. It's strange. Let's see here. Fire Tomlin,
get rid
of
Kansas City Chiefs next week.
Yeah, the Chiefs looked.
They have the Chiefs number lately, but that's Alex Smith. Alex Smith played well today. No shots at Alex Smith.
So did Adrian Peterson.
Dude,
yeah.
Give it to AP. Yeah, bro. What was I gonna say? Chiefs
Ultra gave us $5. Thank you for that, Ultra.
Thank you, Ultra. And now I want to go to our picks and how we did so far.
This doesn't sound good.
We need to not start off.
I didn't
Currently,
do that bad.
what's that?
I did not do that bad.
Well,
Let me check. Okay, so I got Baltimore right. Obviously, I got a tie. I picked Cincinnati. I didn't pick Miami, which I should have. So that's my bad. I picked Minnesota. I picked New England. I didn't pick Tampa Bay, obviously. So I'm 4-2-1. I picked the Giants, right?
yes.
Okay, so that's a loss. Fucking Giants. Friggin' Eli. I picked the Chargers, I believe. That was a bad pick. I picked Arizona. Bad pick. Another one which I fault myself. I picked Carolina. I picked Denver. I picked Green Bay. So I'm over 500, but I'm not doing great.
Kev, how do you think you're doing?
What I got is AC retweeted. Thank you, AC, with his little shot there.
You did tweet this out 5 minutes before Sunday, so I don't know why.
I was busy with something too. So
no. I'm saying
I'm 7-5-1, I believe.
So yeah, okay. So I got Baltimore, picked Baltimore, that was right. Picked Cincinnati, that was right. Picked Houston, I was wrong. Picked Jacksonville, right. Tie. So 3-1, and then picked the Vikings, that was right. Picked the Saints, I was wrong. Picked the Titans, I was wrong. Picked the Chiefs, they won. Picked the Cowboys, I was wrong. Picked the Broncos, I was right. I picked Washington, I was right. I picked the Bears, and I was wrong. So I think I'm like
picking the Patriots game.
The Texans.
Oh, okay.
I have Mitch. I think I might have incorrectly picked Kevels here. Mitch, you're 7-6-1.
7-6. I thought it was 7-5-1. Where are my 6 losses?
There's 14 games already played, so 7-5-1 would even.
Okay, Miami.
You forgot the Falcons Thursday night.
Yeah. Fair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Kev,
but what does matter? I won $300 today, so.
Ooh. I gotta look at Kevels real quick because I think I had him at 6-7-1, but I believe he's 7-6-1. So I need to look at that real quickly. Just talk about some stuff. Let's see. 0-1. Ravens won 1-1. Steelers.
I want to hear what Kev's thoughts on the Saints are because he has been praising them all offseason, and they got their handed to them in week 1 from Ultra.
Well, I think that one of the questions that we have is I think we all underestimated Tampa Bay maybe a little bit, but the Saints are notorious slow starters. They were a slow starter last year. They were a slow starter year before. And there's, again, it's week 1, people. I'm not going to panic. They're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. It wasn't a great defensive performance. They probably know that. I think the Saints will fix that. But they got 42 points. It was a 48-42 game, and Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas lit it up, and Drew Brees lit it up. Their offense is still great. Their defense obviously is going to have to be better. And I think as long as they get that home field advantage, I still think they're fine. I'm not worried about this. I don't feel any worry about the New Orleans Saints at this point.
What do you feel about Chicago -3 versus Seattle?
Last time I checked, it was -1.
The Bears are 3. Well, for me, I think a couple of things. I guess I would talk quickly about the Seahawks. Baldwin went down. Not sure he's going to be back. Marshall played pretty well. The offensive line struggled. Chris Carson had a couple of good runs. Rashard Penny was not good. Will Disley will be people's fantasy idea. He had 105 yards in the first half. I think this is a guy that they can use a lot. Defensively, they created turnovers, but there were also a lot of mistakes. The other Griffin 2, the new Griffin did not have a good game. KJ Wright was out. McDougal had 2 interceptions. They couldn't get a lot of pressure on Keenan, and the Broncos were able to run the ball. I think ultimately the DT and Emmanuel Sanders had a really strong game. There was too many open places. One thing I think the other thing I think this is, I'm going to just say this about challenge and the video review. Because I personally don't think the Thomas catch was a catch, but it's the ruling on the field. We need to, we're going to go through this. What is a catch? It's not only that, but like, if you're going to go to video, it can't be, well, it's whatever the referee decided. Like, you have to conclude if is this a catch or is this not a catch? This inconclusive stuff needs to stop, because it's like, well, I don't know. It's just really, like, they got to look at that. And if you're going to go to review on scoring plays, even if it's not considered a scoring play, if they didn't count it, you still have to look at it. So there's some things I just, this, what is a catch? I didn't think that catch that Thomas made was a catch at all, but there was ruled a catch on the field. And I think that they need to have a look at video review again. And because I think they need to fix that. And of course, we need to determine what the hell a catch is, because every year it's redefined.
All right. Let's wrap it up there.
Hold on one second. I just want to reveal to everybody here. Kev, your record goes up to 7-6-1. AC 7-6-1. Mitch is 7-6-1, and I'm 6-7-1. So
we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I wonder what our spread picks are. I gotta check into that. I feel like it's about the same though.
Yeah, and AC and Kev have the Jets, and me and Mitch have the Lions. So I could be tied for second. And
the Jets, eh?
Yeah, the Lions.
I think they're gonna keep it close, but I don't think they'll win.
If the Lions win, Mitch wins week 1. I know he'll be very happy about that. But AC and Kev both pick the Jets. That's gonna be an interesting game to look forward to there.
Week number 2 for the live streams. We have decided we are going to do the Patriots and Jaguars, and we are going to do the Sunday Nighter.
Yes.
You want to do the Sunday Nighter, or would you rather do Kansas City Pittsburgh?
No, I'd rather do the Sunday Nighter first.
Okay, let's do the Sunday Nighter then. That's Dallas and the Giants.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. So we're doing the Sunday Nighter, Giants, Dallas Cowboys, and the biggest game of the week, Jaguars, Patriots, AFC Championship rematch. Both teams 1-0. Hope you guys enjoyed this recap and kind of also discussion of week number 1 in the NFL this Sunday. 24-23, Aaron Rodgers on one leg makes a epic comeback against the Bears. The promising Bears have a good showing, but just couldn't quite do it. We'll see if they can rebound next week against Kev's Seahawks, and we'll see if the Packers are taking this game and using it as momentum against the Vikings next week, which is going to be a huge game as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, hit the like button, subscribe for more Bottom Line View. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.